Well, hello, I'm Jerry McKee, and welcome to Primetime. We are got a lot of noise in the background, but that's okay. We're at La Pagada. We got some great things coming up right now. We've got Madyson and Amanda, and you probably know them. You've seen pictures. They got some great pictures and all the activities that Madyson's been doing. She's been really working hard. And we're going to come back and talk a little bit about that. And you're going to have a chance to win some prizes tonight. Actually, the prizes, we got some $25 gift certificates will be given away, and the $25 gift certificates here at La Pagada. So right now, let's go to a commercial. We'll be right back and get into the program. La Pagada. La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass, Union, South Carolina. 864-429-4043. La Pagada, your family Mexican restaurants, has appetizers, child's plates, salads and soups, sandwiches, and desserts. Sizzling fajitas, Texas fajitas, shrimp fajitas. Also, they have great chicken, polo asado, chicken tenders, polo loco, and many more. If you like seafood, they have that also. Fish tacos, shrimp cocktail. They have many combinations that you can choose from in different price range. Matter of fact, they have 35 different ones. If you're a vegetarian, that's right, they can accommodate you also. Lunch menu, they have the Speedy Gonzales and about 13 others that you can make a combination with. That's La Pagada. La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass and Union, South Carolina. 429-4043.
Why are you fidgeting?
All right, we're back at La Pagada. And if you want some great food, you've seen some pictures of it, come on down and get you some great food and come by and meet Madyson. She is the Miss Fair, Union County Fair team. She is the winner of that, and she'll be going to Columbia here in a couple weeks, and she's going to be going through some a lot of stuff going down through there. And we've got Amanda Upton, and is the director and been director for 19 years. We're going to get into that also. And let me take my mug off and put theirs on there. We can see them a little bit better. And Amanda, here we are back again. And are you nervous getting closer to the time?
I am getting nervous, but I'm mostly just really excited to finally be there and it finally be state week and just getting to actually be with the girls for a whole week, because last time it was only 3 days that we were together.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're going to be there for, what, 2 weeks, right?
10 days.
10 days. And that'll be time you'll be able to sleep late and...
No. Sleeping late. She received her schedule the other day, and her eyes got real big, from what I understand, when she saw that schedule.
Well, Amanda, you're used to seeing these schedules, and
I tried to warn her.
Now, Amanda, how long have you been directing pageants?
So I've been involved in pageantry for about 20 years. I've been with the Miss South Carolina pageant for 19 years as a director, what they call an LED, which is a local executive director, but as well as I'm the state photographer for Miss South Carolina.
And see, that's something I didn't know. I know you're a great photographer. I see a lot of your pictures and all, and but you learn something every time.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yep.
Now, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell her what to wear and clothes?
I've been helping with that, absolutely. So, and things that she never thought would be her style or cup of tea, I would say, Madyson, this would look great on you. And she would say, and I'm just put it on. And then when she got compliments and then people started going, oh my gosh, I love your clothes. And she's like, oh, I kind of like it now. So she's learning to step outside of her comfort zone for sure.
Well, the last time you was on, Madyson, you was talking about all the shoes you have. And
She's acquired more. Yes, for sure.
now, I've seen some beautiful pictures of it. Did you take the pictures?
I did.
And now I know you got someone there that's will be doing your makeup and thing, but around here, who does your makeup? You or
Amanda.
Amanda?
I do.
Wow, another artist there, I tell you, because the Facebook picture, the matter of fact that I showed, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And I know we're not supposed to make women look older, but you look more mature. How's that?
It's just a refined look.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
That's even better. Now, are you nervous about going? I mean, I would be just on edge. I mean, or are you just used to all the fanfare now?
I'm not nervous right now. I feel like once I actually get down there and get started and it gets into the actual competition nights, then the nerves will hit. But right now, I'm just excited to get there. So.
Yeah, well, let me ask you about your last event. How did everything go there? Tell me a little bit about that. I know that I wasn't able to make it there. I ought to come out and maybe do some videos there. I had another project going on, but tell us a little bit about that. And let me tell also to people, you can call in live, 864-441-9382. And if you have any questions for Amanda or Madyson, give them a call. And like I said, next few minutes there, we'll be telling you how you can win a $25 gift certificate from La Pagata. Go ahead, Amanda. Sorry.
So I think that I feel like we had a pretty good turnout that day. We actually reached our goal of the amount of money we wanted to raise to give back to the fire departments and the sheriff's office, all first responders and law enforcement, and we're actually going to meet with them Thursday to actually give them the money and take some pictures and stuff. So.
Can we disclose? How
You
much
remember how much it was? It's $1,000. She raised $1,000.
Well, that's great. I mean, I know they were excited about it. Now, did you get Sheriff Bailey there? Because I know it's kind of questionable if he's going to be able to make it or not.
He was there.
Well, I'm glad he made it like that because we wouldn't have to badmouth him, would we?
Don't want to do that.
No, Sheriff Bailey is.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. He is. He's a good man like that. What were some of the activities you had there, and what went over the best?
I would say,
Well, the cornhole tournament went good.
that brought out a bunch of people. I think just the whole event as
Right.
a whole, with all of the games that we had and the food and the shopping, I think the whole thing kind of brought people out. But I would say the cornhole tournament probably brought a lot. So.
We had almost, I think, we never gave an official head count, but I think it was close to 200 people that were in and out that day.
Wow.
So, and the weather had been iffy, so we had to make some arrangements, but we were able to do that and still have it partially inside, partially outside. But it was a really good turnout that day. It was very busy from start to finish.
Well, I know that the weather really plays a lot of havoc when you have these planned events. Matter of fact, someone's just got me conned into being in a Dunkin' booth.
Oh gosh.
I know. And I said, okay. And this is Saturday. The Prodigal
Home.
Yes. They're having an event to raise some money there. They acquired the building where Greater Union Church used to be.
I heard that.
So they're going to be doing a lot of things there. So they're trying to raise some money there. So give them a plug. You can see the flyer on my page and go there, look at that, and come out, do some stuff.
Go dunk Jerry.
Yes. If you're mad at me and you say, well, I want to get that guy, I want to dunk him. Come on down, spend your money, and then because I'm going to heckle you. I mean, I'm good at heckling, so I'm going to make fun of you. So be prepared, and I'll be prepared to be drowned on it. So, and Madyson, Have you got your evening gown already picked out?
Yes.
And describe it a little bit. I know you want it to be a surprise, but most women want to know what it is.
So I actually want to keep the color a surprise for competition night, but if I had to describe it, I would probably say it would be every little girl's dream of a big poofy princess dress. So that would be how I describe it.
Well, you've had some little girls come up to you and think you are a princess, right?
Yes.
And I think that's so neat because they just want to grow up, to be a princess.
I know we talked about last time when I went in to read into the schools, a bunch of questions I got asked was, do you actually live in a castle and stuff like that? So, yeah.
Live in a castle. Wow, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah, mine would be one of them, the blow up castles they get to jump in. That's mine.
Bouncy house castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Amanda, what ages do you direct as a pageant director?
So the local fair pageant here, actually, we have babies. Last year I had 2 and 3 month olds. So I actually had a few of those. And it goes up to 21. So at the fair pageant here in town, it's a wide range. However, to go to Miss South Carolina, you have to fit into one of 2 divisions, the teen division or the miss division, which the teen is 13 to 18 and the miss is 18 or a senior in high school. So there's kind of a gray area there from teen to miss, 18 up to 28. So you fit into one of those categories if you win the fair pageant here in town. And you have to have a talent and, there's public speaking and things. So not everybody, it falls under that cup of tea, that category that wants to go. We don't always have somebody who wins and wants to go, but it is an option. So it'll be a little bit more advertised this year now that I see that there is actually an interest for it here in town. And I think Madyson has done a wonderful job representing us. She's gotten the word out a lot, and
great.
Had a huge following, and she took off running with it. And when she confronted me and said she was interested in it, we sat down and had a talk. And I said, it's a lot. And I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. There is a lot involved, from financial to time commitments to volunteerism. I said, but if you want to do it, I will support you 100%, and we will go for it. And she said, I want to do it. And I said, this one's on you, but I got your back.
Now being the director, you don't judge the competition, right?
I don't. I choose the judges, though.
Right.
I select who judges, but that's all on them, from the judging panel to a score sheet, and the winners are the winners. So.
But now, tell me a little bit about the score sheet. What kind of scores are they looking at? Is it like a checklist? Do they go by?
Not really a checklist on a piece of paper, but I kind of give them a heads up. Here's things that you want to take into consideration for your score. It's a 1 to 10 scale, but they taking things from poise and presentation. Do they look comfortable on the stage? Do they look happy? Does this look like something they really want to do, or did somebody encourage them to do that? There's a lot that goes into play with that score, and typically it's when you're judging. There's a number that pops in your head as soon as you see someone. I don't know what it is. She went and judged the Miss Newberry High School Academy pageant as a volunteer thing a couple months ago, and she can probably tell you too, when you see somebody, that's a 5, that's an 8, or that's definitely a 10. There's just there's a number there.
Well, I guess you can tell where some parents says, oh, I got to take my baby. You're going to be in a pageant.
Yes.
And their baby says, I don't want to be in a pageant.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be in a pageant and drag them there. So it's got to have a time to where they can want to do this. Now, I imagine that this is something you want to do as growing up, right?
Yes.
Your mom didn't have to drag you, nothing like that, did you?
No, Julie said this was all her idea, and she's encouraged it and supported her. And, pageants get a bad perception sometimes of it's just a beauty experience. It's just a pretty face on a stage, but definitely not that, especially here around in town. And then when you get to the state level at Miss South Carolina, it is not just about a pretty face on a stage. I mean, the public speaking, to the community service hours that they have to perform, having a platform or social impact initiative, and it's talented, but it's all scholarship based at the state level. So I mean, Miss America is the largest provider of scholarships to women in the United States of America, and South Carolina is actually the largest in the state of South Carolina. We are number one in the Miss America organization for scholarships, giving away over $200,000 a year to women.
And we're going to come back and talk about scholarships and how you can help Madyson to achieve her goals, and she got some goals coming up.
That's right.
And I'm going to give you a chance to, well, let's see what we're going to do. We're going to have a drawing here in just a moment. Right after these commercials, we'll be right back. You're with Prime Time with Jerry McKee, and you are talking with Madyson and Amanda, and they're going to tell you all about the pageants and all the background juicy stuff, too. La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass, Union, South Carolina, 864-429-4043. La Pagada, your family Mexican restaurants, has appetizers, child's plates, salads and soups, sandwiches, and desserts. Sizzling fajitas, Texas fajitas, shrimp fajitas. Also, they have great chicken, polo asado, chicken tenders, polo loco, and many more. If you like seafood, they have that also. Fish tacos, shrimp cocktail. They have many combinations that you can choose from in different price range. Matter of fact, they have 35 different ones. If you're a vegetarian, that's right, they can accommodate you also. Lunch menu, they have the Speedy Gonzales and about 13 others that you can make a combination with. That's La Pagada. La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass and Union, South Carolina, 429-4043. All right, we're back. I'm going to give you an opportunity now to win a $25 gift certificate. What we want you to do is, and see, everybody's excited in here about winning this right here, but you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity to call in the number 864-441-9382, and what we're going to do is a little bit of difference. The first one that gives, let's say, $50, and you can Venmo Julie. She'll put a little tag out there where you can do that. And she kind of looked at me and says, "Oh gosh, we can do that. Put me on the spot." And this goes to Madyson to help with her activities and stuff that'll be coming up. And she kind of some things got sprung on her all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. And this is helping her out, and I'm going to help you out too. So if you donate, say $50, come by here and see me, or I'll hold it when you just give Julie your name or whatever like that, and I'll hold you a $25 gift certificate to come down to La Pagada and have some great, great food. So we're going to be waiting on you to call in at 864-441-9382 and say, I've done it, and Julie will let me know also. Now, what was you remember your first pageant dress?
I think my first pageant was in 6th grade at the Miss Sims pageant, and it was this big, long, poofy, royal blue dress, and I remember it was one of the first dresses I had tried on, and Mama was like, "You've got to try on more, like, we've got to see what you like," and after probably an hour or two trying on dresses, I went back to the very first one that I picked, and that was the one I went with.
Well, that's really typical, isn't it? I mean, when you go shopping, and how long does it take you to buy a pair of shoes if you're going out to look at them, not the hours online searching?
I mean, it kind of depends on if I know, like, what I want and I just got to go get it, or if it's a matter of just having a day to go shopping and looking around and picking something out.
So it takes you a long time.
Yeah.
Now, on a average day, say your day starting out and you have somewhere to go that, for instance, maybe you're going to an interview like this, or how long does it usually take you to get ready?
So for tonight, it actually took me about an hour and a half to get dressed, but that also means I had dance practice before this, rehearsing for the pageant, so I had to take a shower and all that. So normally about an hour and a half.
That's not too bad at all. And Now, Amanda, when you're instructing these kids, and you're telling them if they want to go to that next step, do they hire you to help with them steps and direct, or is this something that you do just as a director?
This is something I'm doing as a volunteer. I love seeing the difference that it makes in young women. The ability, just like we were speaking, the difference that Madyson has come from 8 months ago to now. I told her mom in the beginning, I said, Julie, you're not investing in her just to compete in a pageant, but you're investing in your child's future. The interview skills that she's learned, she'll be able to walk into an interview for a job in the future, or for college or whatever, and she'll feel confident and she'll know how to interview. And so that's something that she's invested in. Sorry, there's a happy birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday to them.
Happy birthday,
I definitely would say, as the delegate, I guess, in this situation, I would say that this was definitely more than just a pageant journey, or I guess kind of getting a feel for the Miss South Carolina, and not just scholarships, but for me it turned out to be more of a development thing. It brought me out of my shell a lot and my comfort zone, and this is something that I would not have done back in October. So I feel like it's more of a development program than anything for people who might have been in the same situation I was in, and I think that's probably the most important thing.
So you're able to talk to others that's shy, because it's easy to stand around and talk to someone, but to get up in front of a crowd and even get on camera, because I have people freeze up on cameras. Right. I happen to not be one of those, so I like to gab.
Well, this generation is behind a keyboard.
Right.
It's behind a text message. It's behind a computer. And so a lot of this generation does not do face-to-face conversations anymore. And so that's something that we've got to still instill in our children, that it's okay to talk to a person face-to-face and have a conversation with them versus behind a keyboard. So that is definitely something I think, it's brought her from behind a keyboard a lot more, just texting friends or whatnot, to having face conversations and being able to do that well.
Amanda, how many people have you talked in front of at one time?
Oh gosh, well, at workshop weekend I spoke in front of everybody. How many were you say with there?
Probably over 100 maybe.
Oh no, there's 100 contestants. There was probably a good 300-400.
Yeah.
So probably 500-600 at a time. Speaking, I like to speak. My family can tell you that. It's not a problem for me.
Me either. I can talk to 100 to 1,000, whatever people, and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Where I get nervous at is like 10. 5.
Yeah, because it's more one-on-one.
But it is. It's more direct. Like, depending on what I'm talking about too, and it's more direct. And
her interview is going to be with a panel of 5 judges. Her versus 5 of them staring at her, drilling her for 11 minutes, asking her question after question after question, and she has to respond. So that's going to be kind of nerve-wracking, and that's what she's done a lot of work on with her interview coach. Political, religious, current events in the state, crunchy, all of it.
So you really won't know what they're going to ask you, do you?
Mm-mm. I kind of have a guess at what it would be. We did turn in a fact sheet, which is just simple questions about us, and then we had to write an essay on our service initiative. So most questions, I'm guessing, is going to come from one of those things, but other than that, they kind of have free reign at whatever they want to ask. That's what the coaching has helped with, is keeping me updated with current events and political stuff, and knowing how to handle and answer questions like that.
And I think last time you was telling me about your coach really drilling you, and do they drill you for just 11 minutes, or do they go like an hour at a time? Or
it's an hour, is he not?
I'm there for an hour. So towards the beginning, it was like question after question after question. But towards the end, he has really took more time, and helping us understand the judges. We kind of did some research on the judges to kind of know what they have a feel for. So that was kind of just getting to know them. So when I walk into the room, it's not 5 judges that I have no idea who they are staring at me. I actually have a little bit of background on
You
them.
tell them who one of the celebrity judges are? The wife? You remember her name? I don't remember her first name, but it's Will Muschamp's wife.
I don't remember her first name, but
What's her first name? Carol Muschamp. Will
Wow.
Muschamp's wife.
So-
is one of the judges.
Wow, that's that's not going to put no pressure on you, right? Are you studying different things for a government? Some of the questions that you might think that they might ask. Are you doing some research on that?
So I have a notebook, like a binder, and as I go to interview, my mom types up all the questions, and so I go back and study them and kind of. She also types in my answers so I can look back at what my answers was and see if they change. But then we also have lots of news articles with information on the different topics that he's introduced to me, so I can kind of prepare. And that'll be something I take with me state week, is while I'm just laying in the hotel room late at night after rehearsals, and I just flip through and study. So
Well, it sounds like you're really organized and Amanda, it has to be not just the child itself going through all these things. The parents has really got to be behind them.
Absolutely. Julie has done amazing. She's literally done anything I've asked her to do. I'll say, here's what worked best, in the past that I know of. I don't know if something else works good for you, but here's my recommendation. And she'll say, okay, I'm on it. I've got it. And because Madyson is a teen. So I don't expect her to act as she's 21 or 24 years old, like a Miss Contestant. She's in high school. I get that. So at this age, in her division, it is a lot of support. She has to have a lot of support. So from her mother to her grandmother to me to my family, we've all pitched in to help keep her on track. But ultimately, if she doesn't want to do this, we wouldn't be doing any of this at all. So she is 100% in it, and it has to start with her, and it has.
Well, sounds like you got a whole team behind you.
There's very much a whole team.
yes.
And that is great, because I know that builds more confidence in you.
Yeah.
Now, what about your friends? What do your friends say about all this notoriety and you're going to be in television that's going to show you all over South Carolina as a Miss Teen winner, I'm going to say. Are they lifting you up and really excited with you?
I would definitely say, as a friend group, I have a very small circle of friends that have been with me my entire life. And one of them actually the other day posted an older picture of us on Facebook and just gave a whole paragraph of encouragement about how she was so proud of me for everything that I've done, and she's sticking behind me, and she wishes the best of luck. So I would definitely say that I have a strong friend group behind me.
Well, that's great. Now, do your friends ask you questions? Maybe they might be considering doing this, and do they have a lot of questions to ask you?
I think the main question that I get asked by my friends a lot is, are you free this weekend? Because I'm so busy. They're like, do you have something to do, or can you come over? And most of the time it's, I'm busy. But last weekend on Memorial Day, I was actually able to go be with them, and they were like so shocked because I've been so busy. So.
And you being so busy starts when you won the pageant here.
She started the night she won.
Yep.
And kind of name off some of the things that you've had to do between now to get to this point here.
So it started with the night that I won. The opportunity for me to go came up, and I immediately reached out and was like, I'm ready to do this. And like she said, we had a talk, and she was like, it's a lot of work. I didn't believe how much work it was going to be. There was immediately lots of paperwork to fill out for moving forward. And then I think the next thing we did was start building my service initiative. And then after that, it started community service on how to help my service initiative and do community service and more paperwork and preparation. So there's been a lot that's happened.
Well, I know that just by looking at some of your activities that you had, I mean, it's a lot of work because people don't realize how to work, and you're just, you know,
A lot.
You're a teen. You're in high school, and
I feel like a lot of people, and this being my personal view, I watched the Miss South Carolina pageant for a really long time, like even when I was younger, and people don't realize how much work it is until you actually do it. The amount of paperwork that goes into it and the amount of preparation is like undescribable. Like it is a lot, but it's definitely been worth it.
What you see on TV in 2 hours
It's
live that night is nothing compared
That's
to
like
what it takes for the entire time.
It's literally a fingernail of what I've
Yes.
done this whole time.
wow, yeah, I know it takes a lot. We're going to go to a commercial here in just in a moment. You're listening to Amanda, and you're listening to Madyson. They're talking about the upcoming Miss Teen pageant coming up, and you got chances to win $25 gift certificate. Just let us know, give us a call, and give some money. And you don't even have to give them money. We'll give something away too, but if not, they'll have a gift certificate. And so let's go to a commercial with our great sponsor, La Pagada Mexican Restaurant. That's where we at. You heard birthdays going on, everything like that. La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass, Union, South Carolina, 864-429-4043. La Pagada, your family Mexican restaurants, has appetizers, child's plates, salads and soups, sandwiches, and desserts. Sizzling fajitas, Texas fajitas, shrimp fajitas. Also, they have great chicken, polo asado, chicken tenders, polo loco, and many more. If you like seafood, they have that also. Fish tacos, shrimp cocktail. They have many combinations that you can choose from in different price range. Matter of fact, they have 35 different ones. If you're a vegetarian, that's right, they can accommodate you also. Lunch menu, they have the Speedy Gonzales and about 13 others that you can make a combination with. That's La Pagada. La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass and Union, South Carolina, 429-4043.
With it or something.
All right, we're back. Prime time with Jerry McKee. You're listening to Madyson and also Amanda talking about the pageant and coming up in a couple of weeks. There's going to be all kind of stuff in there going on, and they're so busy. So now that I've got your ears going there, little ZZ Top, remember to come down to La Pagada and have you a great meal down here. And if you're listening in La Pagada, first person to come over here to this table, you can be online or we go to another commercial and win yourself a gift certificate, $25 gift certificate for La Pagada's food. You're going to love it. Or you can call me at 864-441-9382. And the caller, you give me a call, you win a $25 gift certificate. All right, we're going to switch back over. Now, talk about the, I know we talked about earlier about the fundraising that you're having that sprung onto you this week.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's called the Spot Fund for the Miss America organization. Each candidate who competes at their state pageant is required to raise $325. And all of that, 100% of that goes straight towards scholarships at the national level, which is Miss America that everybody sees on TV. And then at our state, part of it goes towards South Carolina Scholarship Fund, which I said is a very large amount that they give women across the state. So that is part of her requirements. So we are $275 short because we just learned about this a few days ago. So we learned about it this week. But I have no doubt that Madyson, along with her supporters, I have to say, Union has been phenomenal with the support that they have given her. She was able to do a large sponsorship for the Miss South Carolina organization and through personal sponsors, donors, businesses. We have not been anywhere yet that somebody has really told her no. In some capacity, they have gone above and beyond to help contribute to her in some way. So to the people of Union, to the towns, the businesses, everybody, we'd like to say thank you.
Well, and people don't mind doing it. Businesses don't mind doing
Right.
it when they see a young lady like this, hard that she's working.
Right.
I mean, you have really been working hard, and I know the whole family is and your whole team is behind you. But it takes a lot of work for these activities to go on, and the scholarships. Is this scholarships that they can get? Is it for a college of their choice,
Yes.
or?
Yes, and there are in-kind scholarships that they offer as well. I'm not quite sure of the ones on the list this year, but I know in the past, like Anderson College has offered a 4-year full ride scholarship to a contestant. So there are certain things that with in-kind scholarships that, you could go to this pageant, compete, win a certain award. You don't even have to win the title of Miss South Carolina Teen or Miss South Carolina to win scholarships. I mean, she automatically gets a $500 scholarship for simply competing in the pageant. And then another reason we were talking about the media, for all the media, everything accrues points, newspaper articles to podcast.
To just a simple post on Instagram.
If somebody writes her a letter, or if she sends thank you notes, everything accumulates to a point system. And so there's a scholarship for a media award. So there's a little bit of, even photogenic, the picture she submitted as judge, that's a scholarship. So there's no telling how
and you
much.
know a photographer.
We already submitted her picture, so there's no telling how much scholarship she can win. So and that's why a lot of these young ladies will come back and compete year after year. Once they have their wardrobe and they have their talent, if you don't win, but you won $10,000 in scholarships, why not go back and do it again for another $10,000 to pay for your college education? So there are many young women that do it multiple years in a row just for the sake of scholarships and the opportunities.
Now, do you know basically about what college you're looking at, or is that too far out?
Right now, my plan is to stay at Union for my first 4 years because I want to go into the medical field. I plan to stay here for my first 4 years to just get my nursing degree, and then maybe transfer to Columbia or Spartanburg or somewhere to do my med school. I haven't gotten that far, but I do know my first 4 years I'm staying here.
Well, I know the med schools is not cheap, and to go in that field. So you're looking maybe taking the 4 years here. Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, the university here in South Carolina in Union is fantastic. Mm-hmm. You get. I think you get more personal one-on-one attention, and I think you learn more because they care, mm-hmm. and so that's great.
I would definitely say not just related to school, but the whole college and team and Annie Smith herself, that whole team has been another part of my support system. They have been a very big part in this journey. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Annie Smith's a good person.
She's a good
I pick on her a lot when I see her. County councilwoman.
We love Annie.
We love Annie.
Yes, and now, any scholarships? When do you know that you got them? Is it after the pageant or
throughout the week? When we check in on Friday evening, they actually have an event to raise money for scholarships called Dancing with the Palmetto Stars, and it's on that Friday evening that we check in. All of the proceeds from that event go towards the scholarship fund, but during that event, they'll actually start giving away some of the awards that night because all of the candidates will be there. So throughout the week, every single night of competition, they give away a few here and there, so you really don't know what is giving away.
Oh.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this Dancing with the...
It's called Dancing with the Palmetto Stars, and so they have a celebrity and then a novice dancer. Last year was the first year they had it. It's at the Township Auditorium in Columbia. It was so much fun last year. My daughter Kennedy, who works with me at Miss South Carolina, went She said, this is way better than I thought it was ever going to be. So actually, the lady who's over the Palmetto Princess program through Miss South Carolina, she's a dancer. And she had a gentleman who's a DJ in Greenville, out of Greenville. They won, and it was like standing ovation. It was wonderful. Your interview coach, Mr. Sam Rainey, his daughter, who was a former Miss South Carolina, she was Gina Beasley when she was Miss South Carolina. She was Gina Rainey. She's Gina Beasley now, but she was a dancer in there. So they bring back some former Miss South Carolinas along with some others across the state. So it's a pretty nice event that happens that Friday night in Columbia, if anybody wants to go.
So it's like a competition?
It is. They're judged. They're judges. They dance, they perform, they're judged, and then they have a winner of the competition.
Oh. So you'll be dancing?
Oh, no. No, they're just attending.
Yeah, I'll just be
okay.
watching. I won't be dancing.
No, it's the celebrities and novice entertainers.
Well, yeah.
Just like on TV.
Yeah. Madyson, you're a celebrity. I mean,
She's already a dancer, so she would have had to been the professional dancer in the couple. Maybe in the future.
Maybe get to be one of the judges of it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like Dancing with the Stars, right?
It is just like Dancing with the Stars, but on a local level. It's called Dancing with the Palmetto Stars, and you can see more information about it or purchase a ticket on the Miss South Carolina website.
Okay. And we need to send me that link while we put it on.
miss-sc.org.
That's pretty simple.
Julie's going to text it in the comments, I believe.
Good. That's Julie's our IT person.
Yeah, there you go.
And wow, this is now when you win.
I love that.
We have to.
I say that all the time to her.
Yeah, of course. We're not having no doubts here.
Positive affirmations. Positive affirmations.
So when you win, you have to come back on the show to tell us all that glamour part of it. And how many girls competition
For her?
Yes. For
38 this year.
38.
So she is one of 38.
Okay.
And then the Miss division, I believe there's 45 or 46. So roughly close to almost 100 girls altogether.
So they have it all together at one.
Yeah. Every night they're broken into groups. So because there's so many of them. So one night in Madyson's group, her group will do talent, and then the next group will do evening gown and fitness, and then the next group will do on stage questions. So every night, if you were to attend the pageant, it runs like a full pageant. You see every phase of competition, but you
Different
only
girls.
see different girls.
Okay.
And so that's how they all get scored, because there's so many. If we were to put them all on stage competing in every phase of competition in one night, you would be there for 14 hours or more. So every night the shows start at 7, and we usually get out around 11, but that's since she's been awake at 8 a.m. for rehearsals, so it's a long day for her every day.
So when they break up, that really gives you a chance to see your competition and not sit there for 14 hours and see. You'll be wore out. You'll forget who's doing what.
Right.
And
but you're still seeing all of the competition. It's just different groups of ladies every single night until finals, when they get the scores from the entire week preliminaries. That makes your top 16. Top 15. The top 16 will come from the People's Choice, which is an online vote, which all funds go to the scholarship as well. So 16 will compete in every phase of competition for the teen on Friday night and then the Miss on Saturday night.
so I'm trying to think of your competition. Now your talent is dance.
Yes.
Okay. And there are other talents that other things in the competition are doing. So is it one of them is speaking? I know they asked the
I'm
question.
sure there's some. Are you talking about just in general or other candidates' talents?
Just in general. Like you said, they got it broken up where the
She has on-stage question, so
Right.
like an on-stage interview, she'll answer on stage. She has evening gown, physical fitness, which is an actual fitness routine, like they jog out on the stage and do jumping jacks and squats and maybe a push-up. one-on-one, like her on the stage with everybody watching.
Now what?
Not to make you nervous. She knows that, though.
Now,
And then talent.
without giving that away like
Yeah.
that, have you been practicing your what you're going to do as far as exercise?
So actually, that's something that we will learn once we get down there. That will be part of the rehearsals, is finding out exactly what we're going to do and if we're by ourselves or with a group of girls when we do it. So
It's all choreographed.
Yeah.
They have professional choreographers that come in and choreograph every routine, from opening number to fitness routines to walking patterns, and that's why they have rehearsals starting at 8 a.m. and ending at 10 p.m. for several days before the
think-
competition begins.
I think we check in on Friday, and I think rehearsals start
Saturday.
Saturday and go all day Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then they'll run all day Tuesday through Friday. But you have to add in competition
in the evening.
in the evenings. So it's
Full days.
definitely going to be a very, very tiring week.
Well, it sounds like you got a choice as far as your exercise goes, whether you do it by yourself or a group like that. Or which way are you leaning, group or?
I'm probably leaning more towards group just because I don't want to go out there by myself and do that specific portion
Typically,
of it.
it's by themselves, though.
Yeah, I can see me going out there doing
Love you
my
there.
exercise. Yeah, my exercise would be like having a bowl of ice cream, you know. Yeah, but that's, working your hands out real good. You got
She has a 90-second talent. We talked about that.
a 90-second. Okay, that's what I was going to ask you, the
90-second
time.
talent. Yeah. Evening gown. Then on-stage interview. Her personal interview we talked about was the panel of 5 judges and her in a room for 11 minutes. She'll stand behind a podium. She'll walk into a door and stand behind a podium and pretty much get grilled for 11 solid minutes from 5 complete strangers.
My goodness.
But she can do it.
I think
yeah.
that's probably the most nerve-wracking part. Like, I'll be nervous going out on stage and doing the actual competition once I get there, but I think right now I'm most nervous about interview just because you can see 5 people at a table staring at you versus if you're in an auditorium full of hundreds of people, you can't see anything. So I think that's what I'm most nervous about right now.
Okay. Well, we'll be coming right back. We're going to do our last commercial right here. You're listening to Madyson and also Amanda talking about all this wonderful stuff they got to go through. I tell you what, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot.
I couldn't make it. Of course, I can make it in beauty pageant anyway. Why don't they have men beauty pageant? We'll go back and ask that question to Amanda
We'll
here
go
in a
back
second.
that way. Oh, okay.
Now, let's go to our sponsor, La Pagada Mexican Restaurant in Union, South Carolina, 441 North Duncan by.
La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass, Union, South Carolina, 864-429-4043. La Pagada, your family Mexican restaurants, has appetizers, child's plates, salads and soups, sandwiches, and desserts. Sizzling fajitas, Texas fajitas, shrimp fajitas. Also, they have great chicken, polo asado, chicken tenders, polo loco, and many more. If you like seafood, they have that also. Fish tacos, shrimp cocktail. They have many combinations that you can choose from in different price range. Matter of fact, they have 35 different ones. If you're a vegetarian, that's right, they can accommodate you also. Lunch menu, they have the Speedy Gonzales and about 13 others that you can make a combination with. That's La Pagada. La Pagada Mexican Restaurant, 441 North Duncan Bypass and Union, South Carolina, 429-4043.
All right, we're back. There's that short commercial. If you're getting hungry, come on down and you come over to our table. If you happen to come over here, we do have some gift certificates at $25 to eat at La Pagada. And we'll do some online stuff there afterwards to kind of let you have an opportunity. We're talking to Madyson and also talking to Amanda. I forgot Amanda's name. And we're talking about why don't they have men's
Well, actually, funny story. At the fair pageant, I didn't get to do it this year because time ran over. But as a filler, while the while the auditor is finishing tabulating the scores, I usually have a crown, like a small crown left over. I order one. And I offer to bring a few of the dads up from the audience onto the stage just as a little filler. And I make the dads do a pageant walk, and it goes by crowd reaction. And then we crown a Mr. Union County Fair. Last year, again, we ran out of time, but we will make sure to incorporate that this year. Because there's usually 5 or 6 dads to get up there and strut their stuff. And it is the best crowd participation ever.
This year. That's on the to-do list.
That is funny.
It's really good. I think Chris Woodson actually won at one time at some point.
I can see that.
Oh, yes. I can see Chris going across there, posing and all.
Strut their stuff.
I know, talking about all this, the fair pageant coming up, I still have my title even after June. I still have it through October, but once October comes, I have to give up my title.
She's so sad.
I'm actually, I didn't think I would be more sad to give up a title, but I'm definitely very sad about it.
Oh, don't be sad. Just like that, you're going to have a new title.
There you go.
Miss Teen South Carolina.
Well, if she was to win Miss South Carolina Teen, they immediately take her. She won't even come back home for a couple of weeks. She moves to Hartsville, South Carolina for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then she goes.
No, it's more like 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, I think the pageant has moved up this year. So she has less than a month before she would compete at the National Miss America's Teen pageant. So she would live in Hartsville, sorry, Julie, for a few weeks with the, committee and staff in an apartment in Hartsville to prepare for the national pageant and then go compete there, and then she can go back home.
Wow. Did your mom get to stay with you?
I'm not sure. I'm sure she could.
I'm going to make sure that she does.
I'm sure as a teen that she can.
I'm not living in Hartsville by myself.
They are very protective of the young ladies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So,
I
especially at the teen level.
I love Daja, love her to death, but I got to have my mom there with me.
They always have somebody with them at all times.
She fit in the trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put her in a suitcase.
We have the best security at the pageant. I mean, they are 100% security teams everywhere the entire week, because in a world that we live in, you have to be protective. There's some crazies out there.
We've been having Zoom meetings with what do you call Daja?
She's the teen director.
The director of the teens. All the teams meet about every 2 weeks on Sunday. We had our last one this past Sunday, but one of the main things they've talked about in every single Zoom is the security and how safe they want us to be, and how there are specific rules we have to follow to where they keep us safe. I think Daja actually told a story. It was either Daja or Piper. One told a story about when they were Miss, they got followed one time, and it was pretty scary.
Well, it would be. They got to have the security there because you got our children there.
Yes.
And
I mean, at the end of the day, we're still teenagers.
They are.
So.
And she has her princesses, and they're younger, so there are younger ones there. But the Miss South Carolina organization takes it very, very serious. So you don't come in a door unless you are approved and have a tag. Background checked with your tag.
Right. And they just don't let anybody come back there anyway to see if they got a tag, right?
No. I mean, even our parents can't be backstage with us.
Not at all.
Like, it's just the contestants and then approved employees who are working with
and
them.
Security.
And that's all. Nobody else can come backstage with us.
Well, that's understandable because even how great moms are, they can be distractions. And because I know movies are movies. I watch these little pageant movies, one used to come on that.
Toddlers in Tears.
Oh, yes.
No, do not compare to that.
No.
We are not that. That's what a lot of people perceive pageants to be like, but it is not. So.
No, because I couldn't see me putting my child in going through something like it.
People do it. No, they do it, and I have clients and I know friends who compete and do those things. It's not my perception of pageantry, but to them, that's what they do. It's not for me.
No, and that's good because when I watched a little bit of that, I don't know why I even watched it. It was flipped on or something. It just didn't. To me, it just didn't. It's just making.
It was a bad viewpoint of pageantry. It kind of put a bad taste in some people's names, but that's why we do all that we can to show the benefits and the perks of doing these kind of pageants, the scholarship-based pageants, or even the fair pageant here in town. It's a positive environment. It's the support of the people. We had that place packed out, I think probably more than whatever the Saturday, the biggest show was at the fair this year. It was standing room only. That place was packed out. And we had 32 contestants this past year that competed. Wow. And so it's definitely a great, fun, family-friendly event where everybody supports everybody and encourages everybody. We have moms helping moms with kids, so it's a good thing.
Now, did you have it on the stage there at the fairgrounds?
Yes, we have it on the stage at the fairgrounds every year.
Because I know sometimes they move it to different places when the weather doesn't.
Yeah. So far, the past few years, we've been very lucky, and we haven't had any weather issues. So hopefully that'll, continue this year. But when I get all of the information together, I can get it to you, and hopefully we can maybe discuss it, and Madyson can help us encourage that, over the summer.
Yeah, speaking of encouraging, I do, even after the pageant, I still have my title. I do plan to keep, going around and still working on my service initiative and doing community service, and maybe after pageant week's over I can come back on and talk about how my experience went and what I'm looking forward to for the fair pageant. So.
Right, that's what I was getting ready to ask you. Say, for instance, when all this ends like that, and are you going to continue? Will you regress back like shy Madyson?
No. I'm not going to let her.
I think I'm out of that stage for good now.
Well, that's good because you got a great speaking voice. You're very articulate when you speak, and you look good on camera. So you might, who knows, goes in next thing we'll be watching the news, and there she is.
Some of the women that I know personally, a few women who have competed in the pageant have gone on to be ESPN news anchors. Dasha was one of them, short for ESPN, did Clemson Game Day and several other things. So several of them are actual news anchors, lawyers, doctors, and such. So it's definitely, like I said, skill building into her future. Exactly.
And people don't realize that this is a show. This is like on your part. You're not getting paid for it.
No,
you're being a director.
This is all volunteer for me.
And a volunteer, but it's the passion that you love.
Absolutely.
And you see the art in it because you're with your photography business. You got to have an eye for that too.
Oh yeah.
And you just can't just go out and take a picture. And when you look at these girls and have them pose like that, do you just have a vision in your mind, or do you just all of a sudden at the moment, I want to do it this way?
A lot of times I kind of have a vision when I see someone of kind of what colors and styles, and you try to match their personalities. Are they a little bit more outgoing, or are they a little bit more conservative? So it's kind of a little mixture of both, and sometimes they kind of have things that they want to include, style-wise. So it's a little collaboration of both.
I remember the very, very first session that we ever had doing headshots.
It's funny.
I kid you not, our car probably had my entire closet in it because we had no idea. And we came, and she literally, out of 20 shirts, she looked at one and she was like, "That's it. That's what you're wearing." And then when it was time to do final headshots, we
ended up with a black tank top.
She called me and she was like, "I have this vision. This is what I want us to do. Bring a black blazer and a black tank top." And I was like, "Okay." And we ended up going with just the tank top.
The simplest thing ever. Sometimes you can have too much,
Right.
and it takes away from somebody's natural beauty.
Speaking of wardrobe, there's been a couple of fights that we've had. She's like, "You're wearing this," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then I ended up doing it, and I think I've probably said, "Amanda, I'm going to start listening to you more times than I've actually started listening to her."
I love it when she looks at me and says, "You're right." I love hearing those words.
Exactly. We all love those words. Well, see, the advantage I think that you have in photography is the makeup and the artwork of the hair and getting the right shade, because people don't realize photography is not just taking a picture.
No,
you got exposures, you got editing to do, you've got to have that right light and stuff. It's a lot more to it than just snapping a picture.
But ultimately, what my goal is, and I conquered it after maybe 2-3 photo shoots with her. I know we're probably running out of time, but I'll tell this real quick. from the very first time, she was very, what she used to say, in her shell. Like, even when I put lip liner on, she was like, I don't wear this. This is too
Literally,
much for me. I look like I have
I kid you
Barbie
not.
lips.
It was
And
awful. Like, I told her, I was like, delete every picture you just took because that was awful. Like,
so
I
the
hated
next
it.
time she came out, and you could tell she was a little timid and shy in front of the camera. And the next time I got a little bit better. And the next time got even better. And now she's like, that's what I want. And I was sad.
Like a 30-minute session of trying to get a picture turned into a one and done click, and we're good.
We're done. Yeah. So
Well,
it's the growth.
it takes a good long time. I've shot commercials for some candidates and different ones like it. Just a 30-second one. It ended up taking 4 and 5, 6 hours. So-
Some do. Some do.
All right. Well, it's our top of the hour, and I'm glad everyone that was watching and that will continue to watch. We will post some little bit on these gift certificates right here for La Pagata. Glad you joined us live here at La Pagata, and hope to see you next time. We will have Tamika Wilson, and we will be at my studio. So you have a good night. I'm Jerry McKee, and it's prime time on Monday night at 7 p.m.